Well, former President Trump, meantime, challenged on his economic vision during an event at the Economic Club of Chicago just a short time ago, questioned by the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News. The Republican nominee defending his call for record-shattering tariffs on imported goods. Many leading economists have warned these proposals, which include deporting millions of migrant workers, would reignite inflation. So let's bring in NewsNation's Alex Capriello, who is live outside of the event in downtown Chicago. And Alex, the questions were very pointed and specific.
Yeah, they were. I got to give credit to the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News because he knew that this was an audience of mostly business people here in Chicago. And so while certainly former President Donald Trump had his talking points that he wanted to address, almost always we saw that moderator steer the conversation back to policy regarding business, economics, and inflation. I would say it was not a softball interview in any regard. We saw a lot of back and forth between the former president and the moderator. Topics like tariffs, which really held probably the first full half of that conversation, really dominating it. The moderator, we saw him pushing it back whether or not those tariffs, which former President Trump says is going to stimulate our economy, whether or not that will actually impact our foreign relations with some of our allies across the Atlantic Ocean. When it came to immigration and Mr. Trump wanting to talk about that, our moderator was able to ask him whether or not he believes that might impact the labor force of immigrants that make up so much of our workforce here in America. So overall, it was a very stern back and forth conversation. There was substance, a lot of history and storytelling from the former president. We have one snippet from earlier today that we want to play for you. Take a listen.
And the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, which is a bipartisan outfit, put out some predictions the other day. If you add up all the promises you've made, and your plans would add $7.5 trillion to the debt. That's more than twice the total for Vice President Harris. You're on course to push up debt up to 150% of GDP. This is a very business-like audience.
Yeah.
Why should they trust you with that?
Because we're about growth. She's got no growth whatsoever. We're going to bring the companies back. We're going to lower taxes still further for companies that are going to make their product in the USA.
And certainly when Mr. Trump was being pushed about some of these tariffs and what could potentially be harmful impacts to our American economy, Mr. Trump was able to pivot that conversation to better explain some of the relationships that he's built with both allies and enemies across the world, whether it be Russia, China, and the like. So really a diverse conversation, Nichole, that covered a broader range of topics. Of course, most primarily the economy, one of the most important issues for voters today.
Yes, certainly was a good discussion there. All right, Alex Capriello in Chicago, thank you. The aftermath of Hurricane Helene could impact voting across battleground North Carolina, with many people still without power or even clean water. County leaders are making last-minute changes to try to accommodate those voters. Investigative correspondent Rich McHugh live for us in Asheville, North Carolina. And Rich, you have spoken with people, and they say that they're not exactly sure where to vote.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion here across the state and certainly in this region. There's 1.2 million voters, registered voters in this devastated region. That's a massive number, and a lot of them are confused. We spoke to some of them. I was at a firehouse, West Yancey, where Brandy Young, she's leading the recovery effort.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.